Okay, we are back. This is Math 200. We're looking at Chapter 3. This video is going to cover 3.5 and 3.6. So functions. What makes function a function? First, let's talk about domains. A domain is a list of the x values. So when you just have points given like this, the domain is pretty easy to find. It's just a list of the x values. So we'll go smallest to largest. And that's it. -4, +2, +4, and +10. The range then is just a list of the y values. And if there are repeats in the y values or the x values, you only put it down once. So we got -5 and 3 and 9. So we don't go 9, 9. We just put it down one time. All right. Is it a function? Is this a function? Well, what determines a function is if the x values don't repeat, or as long as there's not one point directly above another point. So since none of the x values repeat, this is a function. All right. This is the graph of a parabola. That is what the graph would look like. And so is that a function? That would be yes, because there aren't points directly above other points. They're all just a little, it keeps getting wider and wider and wider and wider, like a U forever. So that is a function, yes. Is x squared minus y squared equals 9 a function? That's going to be a big no. That is a graph of a hyperbola. So that's like two sideways parabolas. So that fails because see, there's a point directly above another point. And if it happens just once, it fails. But this happens all over the place. They're all over the place. So that is a big old no for that one. All right. Don't worry about doing the graphs yourselves on those. We're going to get to those eventually. When we do conic sections, although I'm not sure if we do conic sections. All right, so this is, this 3.5, that was page on the notes. Page 13 on the bottom was the list of x's and the list of y's, the domain and the range. And then the function stuff is on page 14. All right, so now we're going to go to page 15. So on page 15, we've got pictures already drawn, and they want to know, are those graphs functions or not? So on the top of page 15, we've got just a linear equation. And most linear equations are functions. This is a function. And the way that you test it is you look to see if I draw a vertical line, if it hits it only in one spot, then it's considered a function. If I draw a vertical line and I hit it in more than one spot, then it is not a function. Most lines are functions. Vertical lines are the only lines that are not functions. Horizontal lines are functions, and if they're positive or negative slope, they're functions. But an exact vertical line would be an example of a line. It is linear, but it is not a function. All right, so now they give us an ellipse and ask, is that a function? And that is not a function. And the reason that is not a function, look, vertical line hits it once, hits it twice. So if the line ever hits it in two spots, it's not a function. It only has to happen once, and it's not a function. Now look, it would happen on almost every point, has a point directly above it, except on the very, very edge. That would be the only one that wouldn't count as, would pass the test. But if it fails once, it just fails. So it is not a function. That's called the vertical line test, all right? And then on page 16, all they want us to do on that is to substitute in f of x is equal to 4x minus 1, and they want us to find f of 2. So look, this is function notation, and so instead of y, they use f of x. That's how it's read, f of x. And so we've got, they want f of 2, which you would probably guess, you just put a 2 in where there's an x and figure it out. So f of 2 is equal to 9. Let's get another function. We have g of x is equal to x squared minus 2x, and they want us to find g of negative 3. So this is function notation. It just means it's like a fancy y. Instead of writing y equals, we write g of x equals, okay? So g of negative 3, I pop in a negative 3 everywhere where I see an x, and then that's a 9 minus, actually plus 6, right? Because a negative 2 times a negative 3 is a positive 6. And that is then, g of negative 3 is 15. And that's it. So that wasn't much notes out of the chapter 3 notes. I think 3.2, that was the really long one.